don't you wonder if God can even hear you? He gives you so much freedom that it seems like it would just be easier if He could just steer you. Even when God gives us the right direction, we seem to look back at what we left behind with fear, because the answer that we asked for wasn't given crystal clear. Distracted from our past causes us to lose focus on the road in front of us, and before we know it, we crash. Just like Adam and Eve, God told them not to eat from one tree, and boy did that clash. Your heart feels like an engine in a head-on crash, and we see our mistakes like the broken glass in millions of pieces, but He cleans it up with His Son Jesus. We seem surprised when our doubt causes a catastrophe, and you yell at God saying, "Why did you do this to me?" Your world seems like it's flipped 180, and you're hanging by the seatbelt trying to see God on this sort of angle. You want God to save you as fast as a flash. That seatbelt that held you up doesn't last, and your stomach feels sick as you hear it click. Your reflection in the mirror is like a small horror flick. Your anxiety is heavier than the gravity that's pulling you down, and in that time of falling, you ask if He can even hear you calling. Because at this point, it really seems like He's just stalling. If He could hear you, why wouldn't He save you? Maybe you hit your head too hard to remember. Maybe the blood dripping from your face will remind you of His grace. The perfect lamb was slain. Try to remember that as the paramedics pull you out in excruciating pain. That pain doesn't even amount to what He went through as He was whipped like a slave 39 times just to save you. As you're grasping for your breath, think of His death. You lay on that gurney, and you're thinking, why has God turned from me? They wake you up with compressions to your chest, and at that point, you feel like dying would be best. Your faith is really being put to the test, and you're starting to look to God just to give you rest. Now the light's blinking rapidly as you're being rushed, and on the way you hear whispers of how your vehicle was crushed. That's when your faith grew stronger in the God that you say you trust.